can pick up everybody, but make sure that you project your voice so that it'll be one person talking at a time once resting. Unless we get really riled up in that.
Okay, so this is, as I say, a new experiment for us to be live streaming as well. And so for those of you who are joining us across the country, we ask for your patience as we sort of figure this out. We will try and show you what we are seeing here, but I'd like to start by just welcoming everyone to the 3rd annual general meeting for the Canadian Network for Ocean Education. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we will keep this fairly short. We have some just exciting things to share with you for the most part. And just to give you a little overview of what we've been up to this year. Many of you may have been involved in some of these projects and activities as members of the organization. We are going to circulate a sign-in list. It will be coming around, so please just sign up for us on that. That's just to record who was at the AGM. And if by any chance you have snuck in here and you're not a member of Canoe yet, then on the display table in the reception area, there's a sign-up sheet for actually, joining the network. Okay, so the other thing I want to point out to our online participants is that there is a live chat on the screen next to the live feed for the on the YouTube, and we suggest that if you have some comment or question, you can type it in there. We will try to notice when those come in, but as I say, because we're kind of new at this, please be patient, and we'll hopefully get back to you and or share those comments. So I'd like to introduce, I guess I should have introduced myself. I'm Heather Murray, and I am one of the co-chairs for Canoe, and I'd like to next introduce my other co-chair, my partner in crime, and this is Anna Stewart. And so if you'd like to take over with the next couple of items. Oh, and I can get this PowerPoint going too, so you go ahead.
So the next slide is the agenda, which we're going to follow. It should be short and sweet. I'll try not to ramble on for too long. So this is the opening of the meeting. The next item on the agenda is regrets, and we have no regrets.
Slow down here. I need to catch up to you there. Hold on 1 sec. So we're on there. We've got a screen share here. And
that's it.
Yeah, I just need to get into the PowerPoint here. There, are we showing the PowerPoint on the, okay, with the agenda? Oh, not quite yet.
So if you're online, and I can't quite imagine that anyone is, but if you are,
6 people.
we're 6 people. Hey, woohoo! We're past no regrets, on to confirmation of quorum. The quorum is met. We actually need 3 people to meet quorum, and we made it. The next item on there is the report from the chair. There's 2 of us who share the chair, so it might be renamed report from the co-chairs. I'm going to take a lead on this one and share a few of the highlights from the annual report, which is on the table in front of you, I think. But I'll digress a little bit. I want to just say that the Canadian Network for Ocean Education Society, which is the real name of Canoe, is going into its 4th year, and it's a big one. We have a national conference on ocean literacy this year in St. John's, Newfoundland, and so it's a party on the rock, and we hope that you'll all be there to help celebrate. And when we come to fundraising and finance working group, that's going to be one of our real concentrations this year, is raising the funds to get teachers to the Rock for the party. So I'll come back to that later. Before we dive into the canoe highlights and accomplishments over the last year, I'd just like to take an opportunity to briefly reflect on our purpose and our place in the big picture. The need for ocean literacy, unfortunately, has not gone away in the last 4 years. And gaps in our education systems and our collective consciousness, if you want to say, have propelled the ocean literacy movement from its origins in the US and Canada to the EU, to Australia, and now to Asia. Canada is party to the Galway Statement, and ocean literacy has been identified as a priority theme for Galway implementation. So it is important internationally as well as nationally. There's a lot going on in Canada. We have a lot to celebrate here in terms of good practices and wonderful organizations that are working to advance ocean literacy, and Ocean Networks Canada is a great example of that. And I want to thank them right at the top here for all their support. Thank you, Ocean Networks Canada. Royal BC Museum is also right up there, so thank you, Royal BC Museum, for the support. Canoe is a network. It's not really just a frail little boat that sometimes goes down the rapids backwards, and although sometimes it feels like that. And as a nonprofit society registered in BC, Canoe is unique in the Canadian seascape and in the nonprofit world, because our sole aim is to advance ocean literacy. And yes, this is a big task for a little organization. It's a small volunteer-based organization, and we take heart in saying that where there's a will, there's a way. And we're finding that both the will and the way involve a journey of relationship building with dedicated, passionate people who make up a network of networks across Canada and around the world. Canoe now has 541 members, and if a few of you sign up, we'll have maybe 545. And that the ripple effect is amplified when we work together with common purpose. To quote Margaret Mead, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Well, that's not speaking geologically, but sociologically. And our small group is growing, and people are excited to get on board. We have these great stickers and little cards for you. They should be on the table, and there's some by the banner in the reception room as well. You can also go online and download them if you want to print them out and use them. The saying there is that we are all ocean people. We are all ocean people, and as ocean literate ocean people, we understand that there is only one ocean, and it is very finite. We are ocean literate enough to understand, or to begin to understand, the ocean's influence on us and our influence on the ocean. And that ocean is so big that it does keep us humble and grateful, and in return we want to give back responsibly. So as an organization, we're both optimistic about the future of the ocean, and we're committed to bringing the ocean into classrooms, curriculum, and the consciousness of Canadians. As a young species on the planet, we can lose our way from time to time. And we really need to remember, especially these days, that people are all closely related to each other. And we're all responsible for each other, just as we are related to all the other species, most of whom live in the ocean. So we're all ocean people no matter where we live. We share an ocean that's the cradle of all life, a continuing life support system, and an inspiration. There are also practical reasons to advance ocean literacy. It's not really possible to be science literate without being ocean literate, at least if you live on the only planet in the galaxy with an ocean, dominated by an ocean. And in Canada, being science literate also embraces traditional ocean ecological knowledge. Now, even though we're on the blue planet, collectively our consciousness is still on land, and that's why you don't find much in the way of ocean examples in curriculum or in textbooks. Maybe our heads are in the sand. This kind of fades away a bit here. Let's promote ocean content and ocean connections in our education system and teacher training programs. And while we're at it, let's celebrate and love that beautiful big blue ocean, while working with others to share understanding and respect for this giver of life, this defining feature that makes this wonderful place our home. So that's the sermon. And now I'd like to just go through some of the highlights from the annual report. And I'm glad to see that no one is. So when I talked about building relationship with people and organizations, some of the really important organizations that we have connected with and are working with are the Northwest Aquatic and Marine Educators, the BC chapter of that. Canoe is an organizational member, and we've done a bunch of things together. Ocean Networks Canada, I've mentioned. The Canadian Network for Environmental Education and Communication, ECOM. Canoe was a conference partner this year, and we were involved in planning and the leadership summit and a few other things there. And I think that's probably enough of that. In terms of working groups, the most productive group and the most important group, I think, is not the executive group, but the communications group. And they've done a really wonderful job this year. And last year they put out a monthly newsletter called Splash Mail. And they are working to put together a communications plan, working with college students in science communication to do that, and are doing all kinds of things as well as producing these cute little stickers and things like that that you can put on your laptop or water bottle. They've also helped immensely in organizing the database of members by moving our membership from an Excel spreadsheet to a system called Wild Apricot, which was important this year. And they've got lots of plans for the future. And one of those things they're going to be communicating a lot about is that conference in St. John's in mid-July 2018. So don't forget to put that on your calendar. We'll come around we'll send you out more information when we know the dates exactly. It's going to be just before the CZC meeting, the Coastal Zone Canada meeting, which is July 15th to 19th. So it'll probably be the 13th, 14th, or 14th, 15th, something like that. And we'll be partnering with Coastal Zone Canada and the Marine Institute at Memorial University in St. John's for that one. Education and outreach has also been really active this year. They've developed criteria, a rubric, and have started a database of ocean education resources. And that is a work in progress, as is we're still working on defining what ocean literacy actually is, and that's a continuing story. I won't go into it right now, but it's something that morphs and is interesting. The Canadian database will also complement the databases created by the National Marine Educators Association in the US and the European Marine Science Education Association. NMEA and MC in the EU. And the UN is also getting involved in that through the UNESCO, and hopefully we will have some Canadian resources to that there as well. Finance and fundraising, Heather is going to report separately the financial report, but in terms of
We need some help on this one.
we need some help. We actually need help on the finance and fundraising working group. It is a group that really needs volunteers. Right now, it's basically the treasurer and a couple of us who are on so many other working groups that we can't actually function that well. Too many working groups, not enough time. We have a lot of members, so we appeal to our members. We appeal to those of you today to volunteer, and that's a group that needs help. So does the conference working group. It needs help as well. And one of the things that we are investigating, heads up, is raising funds through paid membership. We will always have an out clause for pay what you can. So for those of you who are Scottish like me, that's how it's, no, I shouldn't say that. That's probably, that means that no one will be excluded because they can't afford it. In terms of the governance working group, it was basically,
I can speak to that.
good. Thank
The
you.
governance working group, yes, we just convened late in the late spring actually to put together the first online election that we conducted. So as you can tell, we're trying to be contemporary and use all this digital technology. So we actually had a wonderful response to our call for nominations. And we had 8 of the current directors offered to stand again, including all of our executive, and 11 new nominees responded to that call for nomination. We have a board of 12, and so we couldn't elect everybody, but we'll be reporting on that in just a few minutes as to our new board of directors.
International efforts and activities is another working group. And Sonia Lee, who is the chair of the education working group, participated in the European Marine Science Educators Association Conference in Northern Ireland last year.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's Sonia right there, giving her poster presentation on canoe. And she also did a presentation on incorporating ocean technology to support ocean careers and ocean literacy. So there's lots going on internationally. And membership committee is another one. There was a membership drive in February, and we'll be having another one next February, a Love Your Ocean month. And
it was very successful for a first-time membership drive. We picked up 89 new members through that. And it was really a challenge to every new member to, invite just a couple of their friends, colleagues to join the network. And so we were very pleased with that result, and that put us over the 500 mark.
Strategic planning is another working group. We have a 5-year strategic plan. We're in the 2nd year of it, and we're using that to shape our work plans for the year. And I think that's probably enough of that. You can read this report yourselves. Heather's going to just speak to the financial report. And yeah, then we'll announce a new board.
And so I just have the financial statements here. For our fiscal year actually runs the calendar year. And so January through the end of December. And at the end of December 2016, we had a balance of about $6,472 in our bank account. Much of that money had come from the conference in Halifax the year before, and also with some financial support from Ocean Nectars Canada this past year, especially towards travel bursaries for some of our members who were traveling to attend or present at conferences. To bring you up to date with that, we have a balance at the end of July of $4,300. So when you do the math, that's why we need some help on the fundraising committee, the fundraising working group, so that we can enter the this coming year, and also with the conference year coming up. It gives us more opportunities to create sort of excitement and pull that back up again. If there's any questions about that, please you can talk with me later, since I'm representing Andrew Sharon, who's our treasurer, who's in Nova Scotia, who may be watching. I don't know. Hey, Andrew, if you are. Yes, okay. Does he have any comments? Did he want to add anything?
Sonia says Andrew can't comment, but he'll answer any questions, or so not live.
Okay.
Hi, Sonia. Hi, Andy.
Actually, maybe you want to just ask the people on the live stream to identify themselves here.
Yeah, that would be great. People on the live stream, if you're willing, identify yourselves,
Well,
please.
we have their names there, but I don't think we have a verbal setup going right now.
No, but we don't have everybody. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there's more people on the live stream than we have. Oh, those are just the comments, of course. Oh, okay. So yes, so anyone who's watching via the live stream, would you please send us a comment and let us know that you are watching? Thank you. Also looking at the agenda, we skipped our just
confirmation of the minutes.
Yeah, confirmation of the minutes from the 2016 annual general meeting.
So minutes from the previous meeting, the AGM from last year, were circulated last July, and they are available on request. We have a hard copy here if you would like to read them. Very exciting.
Okay, now let me see if I can get back onto our PowerPoint, because our next item on the agenda is announcing the 2017-18 Board of Directors.
Someone needs to motion to approve?
Oh, I don't think so,
I
actually.
think the board needs to do that.
That's done based on what we.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So we need a motion to confirm the minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Confirm that there were minutes. There actually were minutes. There still are, and we have them right here if you'd like to read them.
I found them, they're real. I'll motion it.
Okay, and we'll have a seconder from the floor.
Do we have an ocean of motion?
That's Carol. And I'm going to ask you to spell your last name, because I still haven't figured.
It's very long.
I know. Oh, Maya's going to help us out here. Thank you. And so I guess we need a show of hands, just all in favor.
In favor of minutes.
Of minutes, yes, just the minutes. And if we have any people
Thank you for coming to vote on this.
That was, I think, pretty much unanimous, so. But just in case we have anyone who has concerns on that, or is a no, in other words. Okay, we're good. Just so that we're legal on this. Actually, that's one of Anne's and my jobs this coming year, is to figure out how to transition to the new BC Societies Act and what that means for us as a society registered here in BC. Okay, so just give me a minute now, and was Kayla going to come and announce with the board, or Kayla, did you want to come up and be part of the new board announcement, or are you?
Sure.
Good.
Stop my phone. Telling me to do a weather report or something?
And just give me 1 sec. I'm just getting this up, and let me just get the PowerPoint. Are we? Okay, Maya, are we showing? Okay. There we go. And I have the executive on the first screen, and then the new directors on the second. and third screens.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everyone who's here and watching. My name is Kayla, and I'm the secretary at Canoe. I just wanted to mention to everyone, I know Anne already stated it, but in the past year, Canoe has grown from 351 to 541 members, so it's a pretty significant increase, and we're hoping to expand that again this year. It was actually a 54% increase, so if we could match that and or go above and beyond, that would be fantastic. So for everyone who's listening, recruit. It's easy. You can sign up for free for now, but maybe not always. So that's the incentive.
Yay, that's amazing.
We do have a new board of directors for 2017 to 2018, except for the executive, who have not changed whatsoever. There will be myself as the secretary, Heather and Anne, who have done a fantastic job as our co-chairs. They run the organization pretty seamlessly on their own for the most part, which is really fantastic. Not on their own, you're supported very, very much so, but they really do put in a lot of work. So I just wanted to take this moment to thank them for all their generous time donated to the cause. It's noted by the rest of the board of directors for sure. And then we also have Andy, who could not be here today, Andrew Sharon, who acts as our treasurer on the executive board and keeps track of all of our funds. So we're welcoming some new people this year. We also have some returning faces. So we have Kat Middleton, who's based in Ontario, and Maggie Ramalt, who's from here in BC. They both currently run our communications working group. So all the lovely stickers that you see here, splash mail, if you're a member, you receive those. Those are the faces, along with Heather and Anne, that is behind all of that work. So they're really what's driving us forward in the communications department. Kylie Bess works with me on the membership working group. We would love some help on the membership working group if you think that you're a great recruiter or you know some people that would be easy to snag. Holla. And new this year to us will be Natasha Ewing, who is part of Ocean Networks Canada. So we're looking forward to working with her. How do you click on it? Also new this year, we have Magali Gregoire, who's based on the East Coast, as well as Kayla Hamlin. We're looking forward to working with both of them and having big base on the East Coast this coming year for our conference, which is, again, being held out east. We're also welcoming Stella Peters, who's from here on the island, as well as Captain Jan, cannot pronounce your last name, probably. Help me out here.
Well, I think I would suggest Negringe.
Okay.
But we'll have to
Negringe,
check it on that.
if that's wrong, please correct me. Please correct me in the future. We have 6 outgoing board members this year who we'd like to thank for all of their help. Sheldon Petal, Jackie Hildren, David Semeniuk, Sonia Lee, Lucia Hello. I'm so sorry, everyone, that I'm terrible at your names.
We're all on the first
Last
name
names,
basis with
yeah.
this, so we don't know.
And Sherry Scully. Everyone here has done an excellent job in supporting us, and we are very sad to see them go and hope that they will continue to support us in spirit as they go forth into the world pursuing new pieces of work. In particular, Sonia is not leaving us. She is going to be heading up our conference working group. So if anyone's interested in being part of the conference planning, she is fantastic at that, and we're happy to have her leading that spiritful drive. Hand it back over to Heather.
Thank you. Let's just see what else I can put that up on here.
Should we cheer for everybody?
I was going to say, a round of applause. Hang on one sec. I need to get us back into live stream mode here. Remember how to do that. And are we back? almost. Slight delay there, but hopefully, are we back in live? On the...
Yes.
Okay, okay. So thank you, Kayla, for introducing our new members, and just wanted to reiterate that vote of thanks to the outgoing board members, and just invite everyone here to, if you have an opportunity to pass on thanks, if you know any of these people, who are just coming on the board or stepping off, personally to shoot them a thank you or note of encouragement. And we, of course, are we don't restrict our working groups to just the board members. We need, everybody picking up a paddle and digging in and helping to move the canoe forward. So we have a tradition that when we elect a new board, and of course it is at the annual general meeting that the new board takes over, that we do pass the paddle, the commemorative paddle. And this year though, because unfortunately we don't have any new members who have just been elected to our board, we thought we would do a slight variation on that. Because as I just said, that we are very much a grassroots organization, and ask that you consider sort of getting involved in some way. And so I'd like to start this around just as an opportunity to pass the paddle. And as you pass it, just think about some way that you might incorporate ocean literacy into your practice, your teaching, your learning this coming year, or how you might like to get more involved with canoe. Thanks. So do you want to reiterate? Where's the song? I guess our camera can't twist around as completely as we'd hoped. So I got the conference PowerPoint up on the stream now too. So this was a little paddle that someone gave my son, actually, when he was about 3, and it has been well used. And I'm now prepared to pass it on. I know to forever be the canoe commemorative paddle. And we're looking for an artist to maybe decorate it for us in some way. So if anyone has any ideas in that for that kind of design or something, then we'd be happy to hand it off. Good.
So one last call for conference working group volunteers, and plug for the conference, the Ocean Literacy Conference in St. John's next year. So dates are to be determined, but they're going to be right around the 13th, 14th, 15th that week. So mark it on your calendar and we'll figure out how to get you there. Drum roll for St. John's.
And assisting Sonia with that conference planning is Dawn Roche, who's the editor of the Journal of Ocean Technology out of Memorial. And so we have some really good connections with Memorial through that, and looking forward to just an excellent conference in Newfoundland next year. And I'm sure that they would love some people from the West Coast who would like to help with that. You don't have to just be on the Atlantic coast to be helping with one of these. As we know, we're all connected online, and I think we're still online. We're good. And I think any comments, questions from the floor? So we're pretty much at the end of our agenda. So just wanted to open up to any other comments or questions that we can address before we find our way back into the reception area and enjoy meeting some more of you this evening. Do we have any questions coming through on our live chat?
I just want to thank you all again, because the amount of work that you're doing and the amount of growth that you've seen is mind-boggling. The small number of people that have made it happen. And I think it's really important. And at some point, I hope to be able to jump onto the board, but right now I'm just really grateful and excited about where CNU's going.
Thanks, Jackie.
There are a lot more people. I was going to say, Christy.
It's because we're thinking Jeff.
There are a lot more people behind the scenes.
I know you're Christy.
That we don't, that aren't as visible. But thank you.
Jan has corrected me, so I'm just gonna thank you for doing so. Very much appreciated. Help me out here. Jan Nigrin. Nigrin. Still can't get it right. I'll practice. On the green.
Okay. Thank you, and it's Jan.
Yeah, I'm an educator, and I just want to say that even though this is a small group, and I know it represents a much larger group, this is important work. This is not trivial work. This is really important work. So I just want to encourage you. Thank you all, and everybody. To encourage everybody, wherever you are, to keep pushing on this one.
Thank you.
And the people online are curious who's in the room, actually, so I was just going to suggest that we go around and just say our names out loud for who's there.
Yeah.
So I might as
Wonderful.
well, I'm Maya.
We usually do that at the beginning. I don't know what happened. We were too nervous.
We were too nervous. We were concerned with this business.
So-
Anyway, so Maya was
Maya.
going to lead us off. Oh, right. Sorry, hang on a minute. Need to
We'll switch back to
bring back
camera,
our live.
and then we'll go around the room and, maybe just
Okay, I think we're live again.
say who you are.
Okay, Maya already nailed it. You guys already heard too much from me. Feel that?
I'm Eric. I'm a graduate of the biology department at UVic, and I'm teaching first year labs.
Burl Jansen, I'm a high school science educator.
Chris O'Connor, program developer here at the Royal BC Museum.
Rick Cool from Royal Roads University.
Hillary Hamilton, do some informal education.
Jillian Martin, I'm an education and outreach officer with World Fisheries Trust.
I'm Ushi Leslie. I'm not an official educator, but I coach some First Labor League teams. And I'm also the current president of the Victoria Sailing Co-op.
Oh,
Hi, everybody. My name is Carol. I'm Rashida, and I'm retired, sort of. And I'm very interested in the work that CNU is doing, and full kudos to the board and all the members who are here. Thank you.
I'm Christy Wilson, an education coordinator with Fisheries and Oceans Canada.
Kathy Karoswell with World Fisheries Trust and co-founder of the Aquarium Schools program.
I'm very interested in doing some networking.
I'm Kelly Nardine. Hi, everybody. I work in many hats, but one of them is with Habitat Conservation Trust Foundation Education, in other words, Wild BC, and we're working hard at improving and increasing our ocean content that will be available for teachers. So that's kind of a little ocean plug there, ocean literacy.
I'm Cheryl Rolston, and I'm a teacher and vice principal at Quadra Elementary School, and really interested in all these connections we make.
My name is Elise, and I'm an elementary school teacher at Quadra. During the school year, in the summertime, the naturalists on a whale watching boat, educating adults about the ocean. So, thank you for having us today. I'm Caitlin Curry. I teach secondary science at Royal Bay. I'm Erica Simonson, and I'm a secondary science teacher in Victoria.
Great. That's the closing of the meeting. Thank you all very much for being here, and à la bouffe.
Do you need a second? Oh, second.
Okay.
Great. So a motion has been
Oh, that was a
passed,
motion.
I guess, to adjourn. And we hope everyone can stay around for a little bit longer. We have, I think, until 7 o'clock. Although I understand last call is at 6:30. So you've got
Time's
about
ticking.
11 minutes. Thanks again. Signing off, everybody.